This meeting is being recorded and streamed via the Council website. Good afternoon, councillors, staff and members of the public. Please be upstanding for Councillor Straub to read the opening affirmation.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. We, the councillors of Loddon Shire, declare that we will carry out our duties in the best interest of the community and through collective leadership will maintain the highest standards of good governance.
The Loddon Shire Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land upon which we are gathered and pays respects to elders both past and present. Please be seated. Thank you everyone for your patience as we had a slight delay there with a few technical issues. Today I will be chairing the meeting for the beginning of this meeting until the conclusion of the election of the Mayor. That is a requirement of Section 25 of the Local Government Act, which requires the Chief Executive Officer to chair the meeting until that point. I'd like to just begin by acknowledging that we have no apologies for the meeting today and move on to declarations of conflict of interest. I think it is worth, because the special meeting today pertains to the election of Mayor, I think it is important just to note that in accordance with the Local Government Act, that a councillor does not have a conflict of interest if a matter relates to the nomination and appointment of by the council to the councillor to be for a nomination to be Mayor. It doesn't count as a conflict of interest. The same applies as far as the office of Deputy Mayor and the appointment of an acting Mayor. So they're all relevant to today's agenda. That said, I would just like to ask, are there any other declarations of conflict of interest for today? Take that as a no. And move on to decision reports. Item 5.1. The first item is the mayoral report, and I will now call on the immediate past Mayor, Councillor Dan Straub, to report on his 2024-2025 term of office. Thank you, Councillor Straub.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald, and thank you all for this special meeting. Welcome to our gallery here in the Wedderburn Council Chamber, and welcome to all those viewing this special meeting online. Before I do start my report, I just wanted to acknowledge Remembrance Day. Today at 11 a.m, Council took part in a minute's silence to recognise and remember all of the fallen servicemen and women over conflicts over the years, but in particular recognising World War I and Remembrance Day as acknowledges the end of that very bad conflict early on in the early 1900s. Also like to pay homage to all of the Loddon community groups that have held Remembrance Day ceremonies across the Shire this morning. Thank you. It has been another year of opportunities, but also challenges have arisen for Loddon, and it is great to reflect on what we have achieved alongside our community over the past 12 months. The new council was adopted in October of 2024, and boy have those 12 months flown. But 12 months in local government is a very, very long time. So although we had the October election and we did see 3 new councillors elected to Loddon Shire, we're no longer able to refer to them as the new councillors. They've really stepped up and showed their commitment to Loddon Shire and their commitment to the communities that we all represent. So it has been a great 12 months to reflect on with a new council and a number of projects that I will mention shortly. Council has a lot of mandatory obligations within the first 12 months, and working very, very closely with our community reference group, we have amended and had a refresh of our community vision, which follows into the creation of our community plan, which is our overarching document. A lot of work over the past 10 months has gone into developing the community plan, and once again, Council, alongside the community, have developed that overarching document that really maps out our ambitions over the next 4 years. That document was adopted earlier this year in the meeting held in October, and we look forward to that plan evolving and developing as we roll out those overarching criteria. Some of the achievements that I'd like to reflect on today, and this is achievements that as a council we've all been very closely involved in, and once again the community has driven a lot of these projects. The Pyramid Hill Community Centre, a $3.27 million facility, has become a vital hub for the health and wellbeing community, and the connection within that Pyramid Hill precinct that really offers a lot, and it's again evolving into a great meeting place within the Pyramid Hill community. Our capital works projects, Newbridge road restorations, finishing in the coming weeks, the Bort Levy project, levies in Pyramid Hill. These have all been delivered in the past 12 months for the benefits of our community, and have really driven to what we set out to achieve. We have done that as a team. Plans for development in Newbridge, the Inglewood Bridgewater Development and Streetscape Precinct is coming along well. Projects here in Wedderburn with the development of housing precinct, and also the Bort Foreshore precinct is evolving and progressing too quite nicely. So again, a lot of these are subject to finance, but there have been some pretty key projects that Council has worked on over this past 12 months. Looking ahead to Council's 25-26 budget, some of the key themes are a commitment to completing the priorities that matter to Loddon Shire residents, while continuing to be financially responsible. There's been a lot of talk recently about council finances, but some highlights to really touch on is the $8.6 million capital works program, the $4.79 million target to renewal and improving our local road network, and $840,000 in upgrades to our recreational, leisure and community facilities. Very important projects. $375,000 investment into footpath network, helping keep our community connected. $7.5 million into road maintenance, which means that in the 25-26 council year, council will have invested $12.33 million into assets most important to our community. These are pretty significant milestones. In comparison, council will collect $9.81 million in rates in that 25-26 year, while we have a strong cash position projected to be $20.5 million into mid-26. We do have no debt on the balance sheet, but underlying operation results forecasting a deficit of $7.13 million is something that we're identifying and trying to close that gap, but the gap is really driven by the inflationary cost increases to construct and to deliver the services. Other projects, other partnerships, other commitments that I'd like to reflect on at this point in time is Loddon Shire's ongoing importance with the Murray River Group of Councils, and this year has been another milestone where Loddon has been the lead council in the Six Council Partnership. And this has seen Loddon lead a lot of key advocacy positions to federal and state government, but nonetheless, Loddon's motions to ALGA with our trip to Canberra earlier in the year, where we've seen 7 of our Murray River Group / Loddon motions carried at that ALGA conference. These were very, very significant and has been driven out of a lot of advocacy Loddon has been doing for rural Victoria, and we still have a lot more to do in that respect. Loddon has been very involved in the Murray-Darling Basin Plan as Loddon in its own right, but also within that leadership role in the Murray River Group of Councils. Loddon has represented ourselves and the Murray-Darling, or the Murray River Group on that Murray-Darling Basin IDC committee in leading the way and communicating with the federal and the state ministry in regards to better outcomes for Victorian irrigators and the sustainability of Victorian agriculture, food production and economic stimulus across our shire. We've also advocated very, very hard on the Emergency Services Volunteer Fund, or the TACS, as most will remember, and again has been a great team effort that we've led the way in taking strong position early in opposing the current state government's Emergency Services Volunteer Fund amendment to fund, when we've never ever disagreed against funding CFA, SES and other emergency services. It was the way that this was conducted and rolled out, and we thought it was a very big impost on our community and unproportional to take this money out of rural Victoria, and we really still query this rollout. We've used the platforms and partnerships like the Loddon Campaspe Group of Councils, Rural Councils Victoria and the Municipal Association of Victoria to platform those really strong positions we've taken, and we've really done our community proud, I believe, in fighting for those rights and using those platforms and those partnerships to generate knowledge into our community and to argue for our community. Some of the really good points to celebrate around the community over the past 12 months is community events. Council provided monetary support to 32 organisations holding 44 events throughout the Loddon Shire over the past 24-25 financial year, totalling $24,300 under the Council's event promotion scheme. 11 community groups were successful in obtaining sponsorship for major events. Some of these great community events across the Shire were the Aussie Kiwi Water Ski Challenge held in Bridgewater, the Australian Masters Water Ski Competition, as we know, is a very popular draw card on the calendar held in Bridgewater every year. The Boort Pacing and Trotters Cup Day, the Wedderburn and District Harness Racing Cup Day, the Boort Agricultural Show, the Lanakuri Gold Bash, a number of football and netball finals and grand finals delivered this year, with a great success being the Loddon Valley Grand Final held at Newbridge and the North Central District Grand Final held here in Wedderburn. Great events to be hosted here in Loddon Shire. We also seen the Riola Charity Carnival, the Wedderburn Detectors Jamboree, the Wedderburn Small Engines Club and the Swap Meet, and also earlier this year we celebrated 30 years of Loddon. Very significant milestone, I believe. 30 years of Loddon operating within our community, and look forward to 30 years plus supporting and representing community as a great organisation and a really strong local government. We really work together well. We really deliver on our shared priorities and make Loddon a great place to live, work and create experiences. Finally, I would like to thank all of our local communities, including all of our volunteers that have helped out on community groups, Asset 65 committees, and obviously council plan groups over the past 12 months. Your contribution has really made a big change to your Pacific demographic areas, geographic areas, but also has made a big impact in Loddon Shire as a whole. I'd like to thank my fellow councillors for your dedication, support and commitment to community and to council. I'd like to also thank the council staff for another great productive year. It really is a great partnership. And lastly, also a big shout out to not just my family, but all of the families that help support our work here in Loddon. That's a lot of work done there in the background, and it's really good to recognise and thank our families for their support for the jobs we do. Can't help getting a little emotional from time to time, but thank you all. And I would like to move my council report be noted.
Thank you, Councillor Straub, for that report on the past 12 months. It's certainly been a very big one. Councillor Straub has moved that his report be noted, and do I have a seconder for that? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. All in favour? And that is carried. Thank you, councillors. Item 5.2 is the mayoral term. So section 26(3) of the Local Government Act 2020 states that before a mayor is elected, the council must determine by resolution whether the mayor is to be elected for a 1-year period or a 2-year period. The officer recommendation, as detailed in the report for this matter, is that council confirms that the mayoral term for 2025-2026 be for a period of 1 year. I now call for a motion to decide the matter. Councillor Weaver, a motion?
Yes, I'd like the mayoral term to be set at 1 year.
Thank you, Councillor Weaver. Is there a seconder for that motion? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Councillors, there's a motion before you. Can I have a show of hands in favour? All in favour, so that motion is carried. Thank you, councillors. We now move on to item 5.3, the election of mayor for the 2025-2026 year. The process for the election of mayor is detailed in the Local Government Act and Part 2 of Council's Governance Rules. I will now call for nominations for the 2025-26 Loddon Shire Council Mayor. Is there a councillor who wishes to nominate? Councillor Holt, a nomination?
Yeah, thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. I would like to nominate Councillor Straub.
Thank you, Councillor Holt. Councillor Straub, do you accept the nomination?
Thank you, Mr CEO, and thank you, Councillor Holt. I do accept the nomination.
Thank you, councillors. Councillors, are there any other nominations for the office of mayor? Councillors, considering that there are no further nominations, I now declare Councillor Straub elected the Loddon Shire Council Mayor for 2025-2026. I would now... Thank you. I would now like to invite Mayor Straub to deliver the mayoral acceptance speech.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald, and thank you, councillors, for your nomination and your confidence in me too to take on this role again. This is a very important role within council, but a very important role to me personally too. I really dedicate a lot of time to my role as a councillor, and having the opportunity to act in the mayoral role really is something I'm very proud of, but once again reiterate that we are a team, and the mayoral role does have a lot of importance. A lot of it is ceremonial, and would really like to make sure that we still continue to work as a team. And I do hope that I can help lead in that direction into the next 12 months. I haven't written anything in particular down, but I would like to once again thank the Loddon staff here that do such a great job. It really does help make the role very enjoyable, and also it's a very everything is spelled out, laid out. You don't have to really, second guess. We've got great staff supporting our council team, and it's a great working environment, I feel. There is a lot to do, as I mentioned in my report, that we have achieved a lot, but again, there's always equal amount of challenges that arise. Some are unexpected, like we've experienced with natural disasters in floods in the past. We have a lot we still want to achieve in the way of service reviews, budgetary considerations, and we look forward to challenging ourselves, working very closely with the community to get the best outcomes possible for the residents of Loddon Shire, whilst continuing to take strong advocating positions where it affects our residents. We've got challenges that, as I mentioned, are unexpected. A lot of them we have a strong position to lead our community through, and we have to be well prepared and equipped to do that. So thank you again. I really appreciate the nomination, the support, and the confidence that you guys convey in me to do this role. Again, great support from family. I'm very privileged to have my family here in the chamber today, and I know every individual councillor and staff member has a great supporting family behind the scenes. So thank you very much. I'll leave it there and look forward to the next 12 months.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. I would now like to invite any councillors who may wish to respond to the Mayor's words, should they wish. Are there any councillors who would like to say anything before I say something on behalf of staff? On behalf of the staff and the executive here at Loddon Shire Council, I would just like to say firstly congratulations to you, Mayor Straub. A second year within this current term, but a fourth term overall is a really large achievement, and something you should be very proud of, to have that level of comfort and confidence from your peers. Picking up on a few things that you've said, I do want to just acknowledge that we do have a big year ahead. We have had a big year to date trying to deliver our business as usual, as well as achieving all of the statutory obligations that we have in the first year of a council term. And having a new council plan adopted just recently, having a long-term financial plan that spells out that while we have really strong cash positions, we also have some challenges to think about how we manage that responsibly to ensure that we put our best foot forward and plan for today's community, but also communities of the future. We also are, for all intents and purposes, 12 months out from a state election, and we do need to start thinking about what's our advocacy look like, what's important to our community. We have a council plan. How do we deliver upon that as a part of a partnership with government to get the best outcome? We have our flood works funded. We have them approved. So now the onus is really on us as a group to ensure that we're efficient and effective in the delivery of that work, to see our road network in particular improved. And probably just lastly, as a group of staff working for the council and for the community, it's just really fantastic to have such a motivated staffing group, but also councillor group who really are in this for the right purposes, trying to deliver the best outcome for the community. And I really do feel like this next 12 months, we've got a huge opportunity to make some huge steps forward. We certainly look forward to working with yourself, Mayor Straub, and all of the councillors over that period. So once again, congratulations, and I will now hand over the chairing of the meeting to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. Yes, there is still 2 more items on today's special meeting agenda that we must tackle. So we'll move straight into that. We know we've had some IT issues at the top of the meeting, so we do need to move along. So we'll move on to 5.4, the appointment of an acting mayor. And I'll ask Mr Fitzgerald to please run through the officer recommendation in front of us.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. Councillors, the Local Government Act provides for the establishment of an office of Deputy Mayor or the appointment of an acting mayor to perform the role of the mayor if the mayor is unable for any reason to attend a council meeting or part of a council meeting, or if the mayor is incapable of performing the duties for any reason. So it could be illness and other reasons such as that. The Loddon Shire Council has historically resolved to appoint an acting mayor when this is required, and has made the role of the ward councillors much more prominent in terms of those acting duties where appropriate. Councillors, the recommendation in this report is that Council appoint an acting mayor when required in accordance with Section 20B of the Local Government Act 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. Councillors, we have the recommendation in front of us that Council appoint an acting mayor when required in accordance with Section 20B of the Local Government Act 2020. Do I have a councillor prepared to move to the recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Angelo. Is there a councillor and Councillor Wilson to second? Thank you. Councillor Angelo, would you like the opportunity to speak at all to the motion? No? Councillor Wilson, would you like the opportunity to speak to the motion?
No, thank you.
Any other councillor wishing to speak for or against? Councillor Holt?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mr Mayor, I think this is the best way to go with this, and the reason for that is that by and large this means that the duties of mayor when you're not available gets spread around amongst the other councillors, and I think that's an opportunity for the council to reinforce and highlight that we are a team, that all of us could step up, and from time to time we get that opportunity, which is good for the council, it's good for the community, it's good for everybody. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Holt. In saying that, I will ask for a show of hands in favour, and that is carried. Thank you very much, councillors. 5.5, the council representation on committees. And I'll ask Mr Fitzgerald again to please deliver the recommendation along with those appointments.
Thank you, Mayor Straub. Councillors, the committees requiring council representation are largely committees that have been established by council, or external committees on which it is appropriate that the council is represented. A list of those committees and their proposed council representatives is attached to this agenda report. There are only minor changes to this relating to committees that don't require a council or representation anymore, and also a change to the Goldfields Library staff representative in this case. Councillors, the requests for council representation on other committees do come in from time to time during the year, and those ones are considered as they're received via a council report and council resolution. The recommendation of this report is that council appoints council representatives to committees for the 2025-26 year as listed in the attachment to this report. Thank you, Mayor Straub.
Thank you, Mr Fitzgerald. Councillors, we've all seen the list. Is there any changes to the current positions? I'll ask if there's a councillor prepared to move. Thank you, Councillor Weaver. A councillor to second. Councillor Angelo, thank you. Councillor Weaver, I'll give the opportunity to speak to the motion if you'd like.
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Angelo, if you'd like. No. Any other councillor wanting to speak for or against? I'll ask for a show of hands in favour, and that motion has been carried. Thank you, councillors. Council has considered all items listed on today's agenda of this special meeting. I thank all members of the public for their attendance, either here in the council chamber or on the online stream. And in the interests, and taking an interest, I should say, in all matters council related, I can now declare the meeting closed at 3:58 p.m. Thank you all very, very much, and look forward to the next 12 months.